Hi, I'm Peter Hartman, and you're watching The Appreciationist, the pre-show. Pre-show starts at 6:45 p.m. every Wednesday, 15 minutes before the show, just to give you time to set up your webcam, set up your microphone, ask whatever questions you want, get your bearings, get settled in, get the video right. The pre-show is where you'll find out what we'll be talking about and where we sort of just chit-chat before the show. So if you want to participate with us live with your webcam and microphone, or just your microphone, you can join us every Wednesday at 6:45 p.m. Just make sure to add right over here on this side here, there should be a button, a red button on the Google Plus page that says Add to Circles. If you add us to Circles, then you will get an invitation every week to participate with the show. Only those people who receive our invitations can participate with the show. Anybody can watch, you can watch. But if you want to participate with the show, you'll have to click that button and add the law of attraction to your Google circles. Then we'll add you back, and then we'll send out that invite, and you'll be on the show. We're going to have a fun time here today. We're going to be talking about the law of attraction. Such a general topic, but I really feel like brushing up a little bit more about the law of attraction, finding out what do we believe about it. I've been coming into some confrontation, some conflict, some debates with some people I care about deeply, close in my life about the law of attraction. So might as well explain it a little more. Look, hang in there. If you're here early for the show, it starts in about 10 minutes. We're going to give those people interested in participating with the show a chance to come on board. We'll be starting the show at around 7 p.m. And whether there are people or not, I'll be here interested in talking about the law of attraction. If you want to communicate with us, you can do that anywhere that you can post a message. It can be on our Google Plus page down below, on our YouTube page down below if you're watching this live or after the fact, on our Facebook page at facebook.com/law of attraction. I'm sorry, the Law of Attraction Montreal, or on our meetup page, meetup.com/TLOAMTL. That's TLOAMTL. Maybe I should put a link up here a second. Yeah. Let's put a quick link here. You can find everything on the law of attraction.ca. So if you're looking at the screen right now, you're seeing it right there, www.lawofattraction.ca. You can also find us at www.facebook.com/the-law-of-attraction. I'm pretty sure I'm getting that wrong. It's not the law of attraction. Let me go and find that. It's Law of Attraction Montreal. And you'll see that right here on the screen, right down below in a second. There it is. Facebook.com/ wrote that wrong. Isn't that weird? Or am I just seeing it backwards? Oh, that's very strange. Okay. There it is. So I'm just babbling, yammering, getting ready for the show. If you see me drinking some water on the show, yes, it's indeed water. But sometimes it's tequila. Came back from Mexico, still in that Mexico state. Thought about drinking a few sips of tequila. Never done it before. It's kind of interesting. I hope people out there don't really mind me doing it. But there it is. It's happening. It's happening right now. Whew, I'm going to be coughing and sputtering on the show today. Look, at 6:53, I'm going to be hanging in there. I'm going to go a little silent for a second. Let me put the right website back here. The Law of Attraction.ca. Bang. There it is. Right there on your screen. If you want to check out more there. I'm Peter Hartman. I'm your host. I'm just going to be chilling here with my tequila until people get on board. It's fun. If you're watching this after the fact on YouTube, I should have gone around to it. There should be a little button down there that says, click here to jump to the start of the show. You can just skip past this pre-show. All of our shows have a pre-show in there. You can just skip past it if you want to get to the meat, if you want to get to the substance of the show. Show starts in about 6 minutes. Hang in there. Of course, if you just want to watch me babble for a bit, you can just stay here. Maybe you have some tequila, some rum, some whiskey. Some whiskey. That's my drink. That and water. That and copious amounts of water. Let's get rid of my name there. I think there's enough of my face and my name everywhere. We're going to be talking about law of attraction today. What does law of attraction mean to you? How would you define it? How would you explain it? In an upcoming event on one of our in the law of attraction meetup, we'll be talking about how to explain the law of attraction in a way that doesn't make you look insane and kooky. I don't know if you ran into this problem, but I've tried to explain the law of attraction to people, or just mention that I'm interested in the subject, and the eyeballs that I get, the oh, you're one of those people. But so how about trying to find a way to explain the law of attraction that isn't kooky, that really is rooted in some common sense, some practical information, some science even. Why not? Why not a little bit of science? We're going to be holding a meetup. We're going to be talking about how to explain the law of looking like a, and I can't find a polite word, so I've been looking for a word. If you have a word, you can tweet us to us at TLOA tweets. That's at the law of attraction tweets. Yes, we are on Twitter. Twitter for real-time updates, finding out what we're doing right now. You can check us out at TLOA tweets. In fact, you know what? While we're on the show right now, I'll tweet something. I'm looking for the name, how to not sound like a blank when explaining the law of attraction. So let's just make sure I'm on the right profile here, which I think I am. Me. Yes. Let's write ourselves a little post. Help us with the title, write that correctly, of our next meetup. How, okay, this is wonderful. How not to sound like a blank. I'm sure there's an underscore here somewhere. Yes, blank. When talking about the law of attraction. I'm sure there's a shorter way to put that. Hopefully I'm well within my character limit. Let's put a nice hashtag there. Hashtag hashtag what? Hashtag the law of attraction. Why not? The law of attraction. Yes. Very good. Okay, there it is. Too many characters, so I'm going to have to figure out how to do that. Let's do hashtag TLOA. There we go. Tweet that out. It's that simple. If you had Twitter, you'd be getting a notification right now. Hey, boo. Send out that tweet, and you can respond by tweeting back to us. Law of Attraction is on Twitter. We're also on Facebook at facebook.com/Law of Attraction Montreal. You can find us at www.lawofattraction.ca. If you're hanging in there for the show starts in about 3 minutes. We'll be seeing who's going to be coming on board. I think some people are going to be coming on board as a guest on the show. Otherwise, it'll just be me talking. We have our segment coming up, Moment of Appreciation, where we share a moment of appreciation, something that we enjoyed in the past couple of days, past couple of weeks, maybe even something that we didn't enjoy, but we can see the value of it. Sharing a moment of appreciation, exercising our appreciation muscles, become better appreciationers. Love making up words here on The Appreciationist. And then we're going to move on to the joke of the week. So we can pick the joke of the week. Today's words for the joke of the week are quantum leap and Mother Nature. If you want to participate with the show, you can choose what joke we say on the show just by either writing a comment or better yet being on the show and casting your vote there live in person. Quantum leap or Mother Nature, which joke do you want to hear? Keep in mind that jokes have nothing to do with the words that I just said, the words we just use in order to pick the joke. But there you have it. Another segment, what a great idea. We have this really cool app, really cool app, almost one of a kind, I would say. If it's not one of a kind, it's a new twist on an old thing. And that's coming up on the segment we called What a Great Idea. If you want to find out more apps, more services, more websites, more great ideas, you can check that out on our Facebook page. We post that on our Facebook page before or after the show. You can go check that out. Last week, we had an app called Elevate, and it's right there. It's to train yourself, train your brain. You can have fun checking that out. And if you want to communicate with us, if you want to participate with us, please feel free. It's always a wonderful time when we are interacting live with you. In fact, if you have a suggestion for the show, a topic for the show, please feel free to post that in the comments anywhere that you can find us. We're always looking for suggestions. And if you want to give us a joke for the joke of the week, make it easier for me instead of reading just hundreds of bad jokes. Send me a nice joke of the week and we'll read that on the air. If you have a moment of appreciation and you don't want to come on the air to do it, you can just write it in a message. I'll read it on the air. I'll read it for you. I don't mind. Make it personal. Make it weird. I don't care. Whatever you write, I will say it on the air with reason, right? With reason. This is a PG. This is not a PG. This is a G-rated show. I am drinking tequila, but okay, show starts at it's 7 p.m. right now. We're going to wait just a couple of more minutes in case people want to participate live. I'm going to invite people once more just in case people didn't get that. I see somebody coming in here. I think that's our good friend Betty.
Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, you?
Excellent. Good to have you here.
I'm so happy to see you.
It's been a little while, I know.
Yeah, and I missed the show that you guys did in Mexico, but I
Oh,
watched the online recording.
yeah, well, it was a little buggy. We had some connection issues at the place we were at. Internet's not so fast and great in all places in Mexico, but we did our best. But at least you're here today. I know you caught up on that. It was a fun episode to shoot, but I'm glad that you're here today. We're talking about the law of attraction. You interested in that subject?
Yeah, I am. I believe in it. I'm a strong believer.
Good, good, very good. Yeah, I want to talk about that. I want to talk about believing in law of attraction. I want to talk about how we define it, because I heard some people talk about it in a completely different language, a completely different way. So it's good for us to nail down what we believe about it, why we believe in it. I think there's a lot of evidence to suggest that there's some value in this theory. So here we are. We're going to be talking about it here today. Do you think you might have any questions about it?
Um, no, not at the moment, but I'm sure I have a lot of questions.
That's right. Well, if there's one thing I learned about you, you can find questions, that's for sure.
Yeah, whenever I have a question, I kind of Google it.
That is a good attitude to have. It's a good habit to have. I love it when I always find it strange when people ask a question they could easily Google. But there you have it. Google for the rest of us and face to face for others. Yeah, if you have a question, you can Google it. I like to Google my questions a lot, and but you probably had this experience. You start Googling something, and then 3 hours later, you're still Googling.
Yeah. That reminds me when I was searching for my job,
Ah, yes.
because
Yeah.
there are so many different kind of job hunting websites. I started off using Google and I focused on posting resumes on like 4 different sites. And after a while, I feel like, oh, that was my first job. It was hard to find. The first job with no experience always the hardest. So
That's right. Yeah.
yeah, I sent a lot of resume, and when not so many results coming back, and I started to review what I did, I asked my community and I asked my school, see if some counselor can help me out. So afterwards, I just went back to Google. What is the most popular job hunting website for that moment? Sometimes they change.
That's right. There's a lot of job sites out there. You can post that there. Even if the job sites don't work for you, it's a wonderful tool for like refining your pitch, refining your CVs and things like that. There are tools that I like to share about actually creating CVs, making them look good, making sure the right information is there. But you might want to try, and this is a little difficult for some people, to apply for jobs that you are not qualified for or not completely qualified for. I know the job that my brother got was a job he applied for that he really did not have the experience or the skills to do, but he was willing to learn on the job, he was willing to work hard, and his willingness really got him that position, and now he's doing great things there. So maybe apply for a job that you're maybe not completely qualified for. I don't know if that helps.
That's interesting. That's an interesting idea. Yeah,
There's
there's
no downside.
experience.
There's no downside, and the worst you can get is a nothing, no response. It'd be weird if someone messaged you saying you are wholly unqualified for this position. Why did you even bother applying? But that never happens. But yeah, when you're coming out of school, that's the problem you face, right? You have you graduate school, but then you're looking for a job. You don't have experience, and looking for people who are willing to give you a start, give you a you know some leeway so you can start. It's always a little bit challenging, but you know what? If you're brave, if you are ambitious, if you go out there, not only online but in person, you can really see good things. What kind of job are you looking for?
I already found my job. I'm working right now. I'm talking
Oh,
about like 5 years ago.
oh yes, of course, yes, yeah. Well, looking for jobs is a time sink, but cool, cool. What kind of job do you do?
I'm an accountant.
That's very interesting. Very interesting.
I've worked in
I
that field for years now. So,
good. So you're good with numbers.
well, not. I don't know. I use calculator for all my numbers. I'm not very good with doing math in my head. But you know, a lot of reconciliation and schedules and like thinking in numbers forward and backward. It just makes sense to me.
Good, good. That's a very good skill to have. I can tell you this. This is one thing I learned about Einstein. I really liked. He would go around to schools and talking to students, and he would say, you know, no matter how bad you think you are at math, I was worse. And it's surprising to think that even Einstein had difficulties with math. But he also said he never really bothered memorizing anything you can just look up. And he lived in a world before there were graphic calculators and computers. So these days, I don't think you have to be a whiz with numbers in order to really know how to work with them. If you have a calculator, you know how to use that properly, I think you can really go far. But you know that. You're an accountant. You've been working as an accountant for 5 years. For the past 5 years, I've been teaching the law of attraction, so that's what we're going to be talking about. Show's going to have to start in about 1 minute. I'm just going to give my friend Dimitri time to get on board just in case. I'm just going to send out an invite again in case there's an issue. Maybe invite him directly. There we go, and then invite everybody else. So normally we are, you know, at least 2 people in here. Now it's just you and I. We have an order in which we go in for introductions, but now there's really no order. It's all you, Betty. Do you think you can handle that?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome.
I am. I can introduce myself.
Excellent. And would you happen when you're ready to have a moment of appreciation?
Yeah, I do.
Good, good. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to be starting the show in just 1 moment. Today we're talking about the law of attraction. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so we have actually a pretty good chance at ending on time today, 7:30-ish. That might be fun to actually have an episode that lasts 30 minutes, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I actually thought the show is 1 hour.
1 hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
It seems to be the default. An hour is a good. I wanted to do 30 minutes because people have sort of limited attention spans and limited time. But I just can't help when we get on the roll of talking about these subjects, especially when there's more of us. I just want to have everybody's opinion in there. I want to express my own, so it tends to go a little long. But you know what? We aim for 30 minutes. If I didn't aim for 30 minutes, we would go for 2 hours. So we aim for 30, we hit 50, 60 minutes. Okay, let's start the show. Oh my goodness, I don't have a pencil. There's a pencil and a piece of paper. There we go. Sometimes I lose my train of thought, so it's good to just write down some keywords so that I keep my train of thought going smoothly. Okay, you ready to start the show?
Yeah.
Let's do it. I am Peter Hartman, and you're watching The Appreciationist. On tonight's show, we're talking about the law of attraction. Ooh, nice topic. Everything about the law of attraction, what do you think about the law of attraction, our description of it, our definitions of it. Let's nail that down. But before we get to the topic of our show, let's introduce our wonderful guest. Hi, how are you?
Hi, everyone. My name is Betty. I started off with a movie, The Secret. And the day that I watched the movie, I was so uplifted. I felt like my blood was running with hope, and I was so excited. I was so happy. I haven't read the book yet, but since then, I feel like I have so many questions. And then I saw Peter's Infinity. Uh, he can answer all sorts of questions. That's when I started joining the group. And turns out this group is really positive and just provides all the information and perspective answers that I needed to hear. So I enjoy the show and all the other meetup activities Peter has hosted. So have fun, everyone.
Awesome. Really cool. Thank you very much for being here, Betty. You make the show what it is. It's always good to have you here, and your questions, your insight, your willingness to understand. So I'm really glad that you're here. I'm really glad that you saw The Secret. I wonder how many of you out there have heard of The Secret, either the book or the DVD. I know I was exposed to the Secret DVD years ago. I can tell you when I watched it the first time, I had a completely different experience than you did, Betty. I actually watched it, and I just couldn't stop laughing. I thought, this can't be real. Like, this can't be real. But, as I explored more and more about the universe and more about how things work, I started realizing, maybe there's something to it. Maybe there's something to that. And over the past few years that I've been, actively exercising it, I've seen these changes in my personality, in my mind, and in the world around me. So I'm really excited about talking about it. I think it's a worthwhile subject, especially since, look, we're on the Appreciationist, and this was inspired by the law of attraction. So I want to thank you one more time, Betty, for coming. You really make the show what it is, and I hope you have some questions later on when we're talking about the topic. But before we get to that, the most important aspect of this show, I think you know what it is, it's a moment of appreciation, right?
Yes.
That's right. When we exercise that appreciation muscle, when we practice it, when we need it, we will have that pattern of behavior already built up. So appreciation is not only looking at something that you enjoy, looking at the good qualities of a thing, but it's choosing to feel some enjoyment from it. It's a visceral response. It's a sensorial experience. And so gratitude, being thankful, that's a mental, intellectual experience, or it can be like that. But appreciation is really about choosing to feel the joy and satisfaction from this recognition. So we're going to look back at a couple of days, the past week, and we pick out things that we enjoyed, that we can find appreciation in. It could be something as simple as a shower that went long, or a nap that you had. It doesn't have to be anything special, but anything that you appreciate will only add to your experience. So let's talk about it. Betty, what's your moment of appreciation for this week?
There was another moment. It was a long weekend, the past weekend, and I decided to do something kind of crazy, something that normally people would not do. I heard about this website called couch surfing. So I happened to have met someone who's also on couch surfing, and we went out to mountain hiking before. And this time for the long weekend, we decided to do a 3 days trip in the U.S. We went to Burlington. We stayed at a stranger host's home for one night, and then we went to Manchester and stayed there one night at stranger's home.
Wow, that is awesome.
Yeah, many people were scared of it, and they were really like, tell us once you're back. We want to know what your experience is. But they are the people who doesn't feel like trying.
I was just about to ask you, were you nervous at all about doing it? Is this something that have you done something similar before?
No, I haven't. But I was thinking maybe I can trust people. If this time I can trust strangers, maybe I don't have to fear strangers anymore. Because I do have this kind of fear. It's like I don't know this person. Maybe he's not a good person. So it kind
That's
of whenever I get rid of a fear or be able to control one kind of fear, it makes me feel stronger.
that's right. That's right. That feeling of feeling stronger is feeling empowered, and you feel empowered not when you eliminate what you are opposed to, but when you learn how to um, deal with it, how to control yourself in that experience. So very good. Good on you. Did you feel proud of it?
I have more. I
Yeah.
really appreciate those two hosts. They were so friendly. They were so nice. They showed us around the city, and they were very thoughtful. They even prepared breakfast, and
Really?
one other host even prepared dinner.
That's crazy. And how much did it cost for you to stay at their place?
Nothing.
Nothing. See, that's actually the power of the internet. Some people feel afraid that the internet will cause us to be more separate, but sometimes I'm feeling like it allows us to get connected. And when sites like Meetup, maybe it's crowdsurfing.com, but couch surfing. So this is, you just put up, you say, I want to come to the city, I want to come to this place. Do you have a couch that I can sleep on or something? And people say, oh yeah, you can come over, and then that's it.
Yeah, it's like a community, and people have references. It's like the more reference you have, the better chance you get to find a host to stay at.
Very
So
cool.
you
Very
can give the
cool.
host a good reference as well. So
Well, that's really awesome. Yeah, that is definitely something to appreciate, and I bet you feel a little prouder. You feel a little bit more, able to deal with strangers and things like that.
I feel like things that I didn't know before, like it could be possible. Like a lot of things that could be possible, and feel like if I make a mistake, there is always a way to correct it. So
Very good. Very good.
yeah, that's from this one day we went on a big mountain and we sort of got lost. And I had this map, but I'm not very good with reading the map, and I didn't know what is the measurement on the map. So we were heading to going back to the car, and I feel like it was taking so long. And then we wanted to stop a driver and see if he knows the way to get out. And he's so friendly. He said he would give us a lift, so he drove us to our car, a stranger. So that was like about 10 minutes drive. We would not have any way to make it out of the mountain by ourselves. That's
That's
another thing to appreciate. Another thing that stranger did to me, and it's
so.
very touching.
So not only did you go couch surfing and meeting strangers, another stranger helped you out when you were lost.
Yeah.
Well, like, that's a really wonderful experience. Wow, that's really cool. That's
And
really
here's another
nice.
one. Sorry, it's kind of long. But
No, please.
okay, something wrong with our car on the way, and we need to find a mechanic. We don't know where to go for a garage, and one of the hosts suggested that we go to his friend's place. And this place is really nice. The technician explained to us what the problem is, and he knew that we were visitors, so he didn't want to hold up the time that we have. We have limited time. We want to look around, so he drove us to the nearby shopping center so we can go shopping.
Oh my goodness. The kindness of strangers. You know what? That is actually a good topic for another. Uh, very, very cool. I remember I looked up couch surfing years ago, and I never really did anything with it. But now you're reminding me of this immensely, I don't want to say powerful, but empowering tool out there. So very cool moments of appreciation. Thank you so much for sharing that.
You're welcome. A pleasure.
Hey, if you're out there, you heard the story, and you never heard about couch surfing, you can thank Betty for that. If you feel like trying couch surfing, or my question is, would you be willing to try couch surfing? You can comment to us on the comments below or on Twitter at TLOA Tweets. Let us know, would you try couch surfing, or would you offer up your couch to somebody who was looking for a couch to surf on? That's actually a very interesting comment. The kindness of strangers. Maybe we'll talk about those answers later on. That is a wonderful moment of appreciation. I can't say that I can beat that. Not that I'm trying to beat anyone's moment of appreciation, but you definitely win today's. Look, I'm just going to start off by saying I really had a little rough time, and I decided this is my little glass of tequila gold. It's tequila that we got from Mexico, and it just reminds me of the kindness of strangers that I experienced. You know, we were invited down there by Joseph De Ponte. We were able to stay in his place, and he let us stay there on the house, so that was really cool, and experiencing his kindness. So drinking a little bit of this sort of helps me remember that. But do you celebrate Thanksgiving?
No, I don't.
You don't? Well, I mean, so I don't really celebrate anything, but we went to Thanksgiving dinner this past weekend. I think it was Sunday. I went with almost my whole family. Grandma wasn't there. Unfortunately, Mom wasn't there, but it was fun seeing just a house filled with kids and filled with family and new families and all coming together to eat some delicious turkey, wonderful stuffing, cranberry sauce. There was something called curry goat. I don't know if you guys know about curry goat. Black. It was delicious, delicious stuff. Wonderful salad, all that stuff. So having a wonderful food with family, talking loudly, screaming, getting a chance to put on a show. That was a lot of fun. So Thanksgiving dinner. And you know, I had a moment just yesterday, just playing a little bit of Monopoly with Samantha. And any day that I can play real Monopoly is a good day for me. So I had some moments of appreciation there, and I want to talk about what. You know what? I won't say that, but those were my moments of appreciation, and I'm really looking forward to it. So that's it for a moment of appreciation. Just exercising ourselves a little bit there. Feels a little good to put our attention on things that we enjoyed. Oh, I was able to finish a video. Finally, someone asked me a question. Val, who's often on the show, she asked me a question about suffering. I was able to actually finish that video in Mexico and upload that. So I'm glad that I got that off my plate. And just trying to answer that question gave me this incredible experience, this dream that I had. That really was one of the most vivid dreams that I ever had, and it revealed a lot about what was going on inside me. For more of that, you can check out the video on our YouTube page. That's at youtube.com/something. It's /something. I know it is. I know it's there somewhere. I'll find it and we'll post it on our Facebook page there. So I was really glad to have that dream. It wasn't a nice dream. It was my equivalent of a nightmare, but I woke up with this immense appreciation for the universe actually giving me an answer to a question that I was asking myself for a little while. So I was happy that that was out there. Check it out. Moment of appreciation done. Not quite as important as the moment of appreciation. We have another segment called Joke of the Week. You ready for that?
Yeah.
Betty, you're the only one here, so it looks like you'll be picking the word. You can tell I'm in a different place right now. I'm at Sam's house. I didn't get my paper and pad out, but I did finagle a little something here. Let's see if I can get this oriented. There we go. So the two words we can choose from, the first one is, does that look look backwards to you?
A little closer.
A little closer.
Yeah, this is perfect.
Quantum leap or Mother Nature?
Mother Nature.
Mother Nature, I see. That was a little test. It was a little test. Science versus naturalists. Okay, here we go. Mother Nature. If you want to choose a joke of the week, you can participate with the show. You can do it either on the show, live on the air, just like Betty just did, or you can vote by posting in the comments or on Twitter or anywhere you can find us. Next week is Quantum Leap. It's going to be finding another word. I don't know what the other thing's going to be, but check it out. Mother Nature. Okay. This one is a little different format than the jokes that I've been saying. This is a top 8. So it's top 8 things you'll never hear a woman say. Top 8 things you'll never hear a woman say. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad we have a woman on the show. It would have been a little weird if it was just me and Dimitri talking about women. So at least if you get offended, you can give me a virtual slap. Okay. Top 8 things that you'll never hear a woman say. Top 8 things you'll never hear a woman say. Number 8. What do you mean today's our anniversary? Number 7. Can we not talk to each other tonight? I'd rather just watch TV. Number 6. Oh, this diamond is way too big. Number 5. Can our relationship get a little more physical? I'm tired of being just friends. Number 4. Honey, does this outfit make my butt look too small? Number 3. Don't stop for directions. I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out. Number 2. I don't care if it's on sale. $300 is way too much for a designer dress. And number 1, the number 1 thing you'll never hear a woman say, hey, pull my finger. Top 8 things. Well, if you had fun with that one, you can thank Betty if she chose the joke of the day. If you didn't have fun with that, I think you should blame Betty as well. Okay. The next joke for next week is really funny. I hope you guys are here for the show. You can choose that. Look, let's talk about what a great idea. We have a segment on the show called What a Great Idea, and it's where I pitch to you an idea, an app, a service, a website, something out there that deserves your attention. This week, the app is called Cuddler. Cuddler, Cuddler app. It's posted on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Law of Attraction Montreal. Cuddler app is fantastic. Betty, have you ever heard of an app called Tinder?
No.
Okay, then I won't tell you the second one. Anyway, there are these apps out there that are for hooking up, for meeting people, going on dates, and they've really become a thing where physical intimacy is expected almost. It's like these hookup apps, and I'm always interested in these dating apps. I'm interested in how dating is made more efficient, how intimacy is made more efficient. But Cuddler app is wonderful, and you should definitely give it your attention. What it does is it allows you to connect with people. You know these dating sites. Have you heard of these dating sites, Betty?
Yeah, well, I was one of the people who are using it, and
Hmm.
I think it's not like dating is not about efficiency. I tried this for probably half a year. Didn't work. Okay, it's like assignments. I know there are a lot of people that I can meet, so I'm like scheduling myself to meet like 3 guys per week. But that was tiring. Every time I have to repeat who I am and everything. Like job interviews.
Yeah, that's right. It is a lot like a job interview. Some people like it, some people don't. Certainly if you are, around my age and older, you're more familiar with the old way of meeting people. If you're a young person, you're 19 years old or something, maybe meeting people like this is easier for you. I like to experiment. I like to see what's out there. I've been with my lovely lady for 4 years now, so really dating apps don't do too much for me, but I like to keep up to date with it. Now, this dating app is called Cuddler app, and what it does is that it's not for dating. Okay, it's just to meet people to, in a sense, cuddle. So it's a type of close physical intimacy that is not supposed to lead to anything else. It's not supposed to lead to some lifelong friendship. It's not meant to lead to becoming boyfriend and girlfriend and married or having sex or anything like that. It's just to get together. You can get together with someone to hold hands, for a hug, to lie down on the grass in the park, anything that is intimate in a sense of cuddling, something very lighthearted, something very easy. It's to really get people to experience intimacy with the people around them, the people in their environment, but not have the expectation of leading to more. Doesn't that sound like a great idea?
Yeah, I think it is because I feel like after okay, I just broke up like this springtime, and now I feel like slowly I'm building up this wall around me. I'm kind of keeping guys away from me. Maybe just for the moment, but it's kind of like once I'm by myself for a while, it's kind of subconsciously I'm trying to protect myself. So I guess with this app, maybe there's something could be happening. I don't know.
That's right. No, I completely understand what you're saying. You get first of all, you can get used to being by yourself. Then you put up a wall because you're worried about the people that you're going to meet. Maybe the last relationship you had didn't go so well or ended poorly, so that puts you on a nervous footing. So this is an app that allows you to just sort of get out there. You can just meet someone to sit next to someone on the park bench and have a conversation, or to just gaze up at the stars at night, or anything like that. And I think it's a wonderful idea. I think you guys should check it out. It's colораpp.com, and you can find that on our Facebook page, or just Google it, right? Just like we started. Google it, Cuddler app. There it is.
Okay, I got a question just
Yeah,
now. Like,
please.
so curious. It's not a real question. I'm just thinking. Okay, cuddler. Would you cuddle a stranger? I mean, like, would you check what he looks like before you cuddle him, or would you want to?
Well, fortunately, the Color app, I'll just put it up here real quick. The Color app allows you to see the person that you want to cuddle with, and it allows you to see their reputation, like how good of a cuddler they are. If you meet somebody and they turn out to be weird, then you can let people know, oh, don't trust this guy. But Cuddler, I'm just going to bring it up here. I'll be honest, whoops, the interface could use some work, but I think it's fairly new, so they're going to be working on it. Let's keep in mind that cuddling, this is the name of the app, but you don't necessarily have to cuddle in the traditional sense. You don't have to climb into bed with someone and spoon them. What it is, you see their picture. It's kind of
Okay.
blurry here, but anyway, you see these circles, their pictures are there.
Yeah.
You can tap on their face, and you can see how far away they are. It's not a site that has like these profiles, because it's not a dating app. It's not an app where you meet someone and you have long conversations and you you're planning the future with them. This is just to get together with a human being and to experience some mild level of intimacy. Like I say, it could be holding hands, it could be sitting down on the grass in the park next to each other, it could be a hug, which I think a lot of people would like. And it's simple. It's just as simple as that. You go meet up with them, you say hi, you hug them, and then you leave. And to me, it's fairly simple. And I think you can minimize the risk if you're not meeting them in your home, in their home. You're meeting in a public space. Those are all ways to mitigate the sort of risky business that can come along with these types of things. But you know, the app really expressly says this is really not supposed to go any further. You're just supposed to come together and do this. So would I cuddle a stranger? I'd hug a stranger. You know, if they asked me to go into the bed and lie down with them, that'd be very, very strange. But I would definitely hold hands with someone, or hug a stranger, or high five someone, or just sit down in the park and enjoy the sky. I'd do that. I don't know. I think it's easier than, you know what I find insane, we're going a little off topic, but why not, is when I used to go to the to clubs when I was younger, and I see people hooking up in clubs. You know, have you ever seen this? Like people go to a bar or a club or something and you just sort of go after a random stranger. So I think going after a random stranger like that is way riskier and scarier than just meeting someone on a cuddling app to go and hang out. So I think if you are brave enough to walk up to a stranger at a bar and say, hi, how are you doing? I think you and I would get along. I think if you're willing to do that, the Cuddle app is a step down. Look, for someone like me who is not antisocial but definitely pro-solitude, just the idea of this app makes me feel good that I live in a world where I can just meet someone and hold hands and not have this overwhelming expectation that I'm going to be. Husband number 2, I don't know. So look, I think we could talk about that all day long. I think it's a very interesting idea, so that's why I'm talking about it. Cuddler app. But today we're talking about the law of attraction. You ready for that?
Yeah.
Cool. It's 7:32. We have another about 10 minutes to keep things on lock. If you're watching this and pose a question or something, you can post it in the comments below. If you are watching this as a recording and you have more questions out of what has come out here, you can write those questions and we'll answer it on the next episode. So please, don't worry, get involved, get interactive. Today we're going to be talking about the law of attraction. I want to explain the law of attraction because that's what I teach, and I feel like some people misunderstand the concept, at least the way that I understand it. But before I explain to you what I think the law of attraction is, Betty, do you think you might be able to? Should I put you on the spot? Should I not put you on the spot?
Yeah, I can say something about it. Like,
awesome.
I think after I went to all your seminars and things, might be close to what you come up with. So, well, I think it just, the more I put my focus on certain things, the things that I want, I like, and this kind of thing would more likely to happen.
Very good. That is an excellent way of putting it. And you actually made me feel a little bit proud there, the way you were able to explain that so succinctly. That is beautiful. That's exactly it. Whatever you give your attention to is likely to become a greater part of your experience. Now, that's a little different than saying you send out your magical wish list to the universe, and the universe, in all of its glory, says, yes, you deserve it, you've done good today, and so it gives it to you. I don't think the law of attraction is about letting God know or the universe know what you want. I think it's all about putting yourself in tune with what you're desiring and creating the likelihood, increasing the odds that that will transpire, that will manifest itself in your experience. And you see that very simply when you talk to people who complain a lot. People who complain a lot, put their focus on complaining a lot, are judgmental, or self-critical, or criticizing of other people, are critical of other people, they tend to find more reasons to criticize, more reasons to judge, more reasons to put things down. When you talk to people who are optimistic, who appreciate, who find reasons to find joy, who compliment, those people tend to find more reasons to compliment, more reasons to find joy. And so whatever you give your attention to will become a greater part of your experience. And to me, that is the whole enchilada. That is the whole thing of the law of attraction. That's the beginning, middle, and end of it. Whatever you put your focus on becomes a greater part of your experience. So if an artist, if a writer is writing a book and they get stuck, writer's block, we've all experienced some form of writer's block. What do? They go outside into an environment and they change their focus, they change their mind, they put themselves in an atmosphere, in an environment that is likely to stimulate something different within them. And that sort of takes away the blocks that allows them to go ahead and write some more. If you want to meet someone and you don't feel like going on dates or going to bars and stuff, well, maybe you'll try online dating. Not because you believe online dating will work, it's just that giving a little bit more of your attention to online dating is better than doing nothing. And think about what you do when you say try online dating. You have to write yourself a profile. That's putting focus on who you are. You have to write who you're looking for. That's putting focus on the person that you're looking for. And just that exercise of focusing, that exercise of writing that down, that exercise of formulating it, puts you in a frame of mind that makes you more likely to perceive what you're looking for when you're walking out in the world or when you're surfing online. So whatever you give your attention to will become a greater part of your experience. And the reason I wanted to explain this is because I feel like a lot of people think, when I tell people about the law of attraction, they think, oh, he's kooky, right? He's crazy. This metaphysical guy is going to be talking to me about some nonsense about how the universe is going to give you what you want. And I just want to let people know that you are the universe. You are the fingers, toes, eyes, nose, ear, hair of the universe. And the universe operates through you and all that you are connected to. And if you don't do it in the sense of, if you don't put yourself in the flow and yourself in the position where you are entertaining the opportunities, the possibilities that are presented to yourself, then you are less likely to experience what you're wanting. So in Quebec, we have, I think it's Lotto Quebec that has this motto, you got to play to win. And I think that's very clever, because some people want the lottery ticket to fall out of the blue, but you've got to put some type of energy, some type of effort behind it in order to get what you want. And I think the effort starts up here. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, I think you've heard me explain the law of attraction a lot, so I won't beat a dead horse. But I wanted some. So let me ask you this: This is a type of conflict that I've been getting into with some people that I've been talking to. Even people who've heard me explain this 100 times, we still get into this conflict. So maybe I'll ask you, Betty, what you think about this. Do you think that our will, our focus, our will actually changes physical reality?
well, it changed the environment around you, but it more changes your perspective, the way that you act, so that the world react differently.
Very good. I like that. I like that. I like that answer. I completely agree with that. I was talking to someone and we were arguing about, dice. Some people go to the casino and they throw dice and they gamble. And I was talking to this person who believed that if you focused well enough, you can influence the rolling of the dice. And I've heard other people explain the law of attraction in that context with different language, with different words, but in some way that you can manipulate physical reality in that way. And I sort of don't agree. I believe that what you're influencing, like you say, Betty, is the environment, it's the circumstances, and how you are able to engage with those circumstances, right? We're
Yeah.
living in like a mesh, a pattern of possibilities. And whatever we give our attention to emphasizes those possibilities, and they can grow and become more a part of our experience. The example I like to give is this. I was listening to an interview with Malcolm Gladwell. He wrote a book called Blink, which is it's about making snap decisions, about trusting your gut, for example. And he was saying that there's a difference between a guess and an educated guess. So if you were, let's say there are two people. One is a doctor and the other one is a cashier. Okay, a cashier and a doctor. You say hello to the cashier at a party. They're sitting down with you. They're talking for a while. There's the doctor. There's the cashier. The cashier says, hey, Betty, I just want to let you know that I'm having some type of intuition, a gut feeling that you might want to go to the doctor and get checked out. I think there might be something wrong with your heart or something. You'd say, well, thank you very much, cashier. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Now, if a doctor or cardiologist who's been studying hearts his whole life comes up to you and says, hey, Betty, I just have this feeling. I can't tell you for sure. I'm not diagnosing you, but there's something that tells me, my gut feeling is telling me that you might want to get your heart checked out. You might want to get that checked out. Well, that doctor is making an educated guess, an intuitive guess based on experience with the subject, his subconscious mind may very well be picking up on subtle cues that his conscious mind may not be aware of. It could be the pulsation of your veins in your neck. It could be the discoloration of skin on your body. It could be the way that you're moving and that you're leaning. It could be the rhythm of your breath. They might be able to, on a subconscious level, intuit that there might be something wrong inside you. And so an educated guess, an intuitive guess from a doctor in terms of medicine is more reliable, I think, than the cashier. Similarly, when you're making your efforts with your focus and your willpower in terms of what you're wanting to create, I believe that you're creating it, you are experiencing the magic of that creation because of your desire. You've been thinking about this thing, you've been wanting this thing, you've been focused on this thing, and because of that experience with that subject, you were able to make guesses and intuitive leaps that go beyond what your conscious mind can do. But if you want to use the law of attraction to do something that you are completely and utterly unfamiliar with, then I believe relying on your intuition and on your gut might not lead you to the place that you're looking for, depending on your experience. So to me, that's the difference between an educated guess and a guess, or intuition based on experience rather than not. And when people explain the law of attraction, I feel like they're saying, so this is something that I say in our meetups, I say, I don't believe that you can do anything. What I do believe is that you can do anything that you're inspired to. Because I believe you're only inspired to that which you have experience in, right?
Yeah.
So it'd be weird, Betty, if you woke up in the morning and you said, oh, I think I'm going to be an astronaut. I'm going to use the law of attraction to become an astronaut. Would you say it's likely or not so likely that you'll become an astronaut if you give it your full attention?
Not very likely.
Not very likely because you haven't been immersed in that world, right? You haven't really been in that zone. But if you do something that involves those skills, those experiences that you've had, it could be biking, it could be the foods that you eat, it could be the family that you live with, it could be, you know, the culture that you grew up with, it could be the education that you learned. Anything that you do relative to your own personal desires is likely to be fueled by all your experience. And so your intuition, your guesses, being at the right place at the right time, trusting your flow is more reliable because of all that experience. So I don't want to be someone who tells people you can do anything, because even though that sounds good, I don't believe it's true. But you can do anything that you're inspired to. And when it comes down to it, isn't that really the only thing that matters, right?
Yeah.
It really is. So I don't know, do you have any statements, questions, or comments you want to make about that? I know I can go off a long time, but I'm going to try and not do that today.
For a while, my question was, can I trust strangers? That was for the past few weeks I've been thinking of. I was like, if something can prove to me that I can trust strangers, then it feels like this is a wonderful world, and it's full of more possibilities than I thought. So somehow today, there's my answer.
Very good. Very good. That's awesome. And how did you, have you known about couch surfing for a while? Is this something new to you? How did you get engaged with that idea?
It was in one of the meetups. I met a girl, and she was organizer for one event. She told me about places that she went, and she has met some people not so nice. Some guy tried to take advantage of her, and she ended up calling a cab and drove away.
Mm.
So that was just her experience. So I was skeptical about it. But then I know there's references that you can look into and stuff. So I was like, okay, I did my research, and there was my friend who went with me, went from couch surfing. Like, we did some activity close to Montreal. So I was like, okay, I guess I can trust that guy. So we went together, and then we decided to trust more people, so it works out.
Very good. It's amazing, the story that you just said. When I hear it, I see it like a plant that's growing, you know. First, you're willing to come out to a meeting where you don't know people, and you're opening yourself up to that, small possibilities leading to more. Then you meet someone who tells you something bad that happened to them, but that doesn't get you down. That only inspires you to figure out more of it. Then you meet someone who you're willing to do this thing with. That's another stranger you're getting together with. Then you go and actually do couch surfing that connects you with even more strangers. I see this thread, this attitude, this willingness to engage with ideas that leads to more. And to me, it's beautiful. To me, that's the law of attraction. It's putting yourself in the right place at the right time with the right state of mind that will allow those opportunities that are present to become full flourish, more part of your experience. Really cool.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I didn't think of it that way, but now it's like it's a whole complete like growing path. Oh, that's good.
That's right. That's right. That's whenever I hear people's stories, that's how I see it. I see often people are isolated because you're so close to your story. It's harder for you to see. But as you explain, as you listen to your stories or other people's stories, what you'll find is that there's often this thread of behavior, this thread of attitude, this thread of synchronicity that leads people to where they are. It's not this sort of randomness, and it's made more effective if you are open to it, and that's where the attitude comes in, being open, being willing to try something new. And we see that when you come and participate on the show here with us, the Appreciationist. You're really getting outside and sort of allowing yourself to do something new. So really proud of you. Thank you very much for sharing that. I think you really demonstrated with action what I've been trying to explain with words there, especially that story, couch surfing. I can't believe you heard a story about couch surfing not going well, and you still decided to continue with that thread. What made you?
I feel like I want to be able to trust strangers, and this is the thing that I want to try by myself and see if my belief should continue.
Very cool. Very cool. That's a wonderful place to leave it on. We were just in Mexico, Sam and I had the opportunity to meet strangers. I don't have this question on my heart like you do. How do I, trust strangers? I feel like I don't really want to trust anyone in that sense. I trust people to do what is good for them, and sometimes it's good for me, sometimes it's not. But even in Mexico, I went to a meetup, a personal development meetup, where I met a bunch of strangers, and it was remarkable to see how they were so much like our group in Montreal. It's amazing. You can go another part of the world and still meet people who are like you. And I know if I walk by those people on the street, I may not even be willing to say hello or to even smile at them or wave at them. But sitting in that context really revealed to me that strangers are not really strangers. Oftentimes, they're just friends that you haven't met yet.
Oh, that's a good way to put it. I really like it. I heard it before, but just for a while I forgot.
Yeah, it's surprising because we live in this conservative society. We tend to sort of be locked in our little world. We forget, and every time winter comes here in Montreal and the snow piles up, and I see a car drive by another car and stop, and the person gets out of the car to help push another person out of the snow, it reminds me of the world that we live in. We live in a compassionate world where people are far more likely to be on your side than against you, and there's hope in that. There's optimism
That's
in
beautiful.
that.
Now I have a question.
Good.
Because I try to do different activities. I kind of get out of my comfort zone. Maybe the thing that I did, I talked about. Some people would think I'm desperate. Maybe I am in a sense because I live here alone in Montreal. My parents and family, and nobody's here. And most of the time, I rely on myself. And I do need friends. I do need to be social because I'm human. So that's the way that I figured out how to get to know more people. So I might be desperate in that sense, but there are people who don't want to do that, and some people they are okay. Some people I know they're kind of depressed, and they don't want to get out of their comfort zone. They just want to do what they did in the past that didn't make them successful. I mean,
That's
like
right.
looking at their story, I'm sad, they're sad, but they're not ready. They don't want to move on. What do I do about those friends?
Well, I completely understand what you're saying. So first of all, I would replace desperation with determination. It's this sort of like eager drive, this willingness to figure something out, to experience something. And so to me, that's not desperation. It's just really, really, really wanting to understand, wanting to grow, wanting to become better. And so that, to me, that's determination. What I see expressed in what you're saying is not desperation, but determination. I have spoken with people who do give off that sensation of desperation, but you're not one of those people. One thing I learned with teaching personal development is you can't help anyone who's not asking for help. It doesn't matter if your friends, your family members, a stranger on the street. If they're not asking for your help is likely to bother them, annoy them, upset them. Not only that, even if it doesn't annoy them or bother them and upset them, if they're not asking the question, they can't receive the answer. You can think of a question as sort of like it's the negative space that is filled with the positive space of the answer. It's like digging a hole and preparing to plant the seed. If you don't dig that hole, if there's not that abstinence waiting for more, then there's no place for you to plant the seed of your answer. So you can't really help people who are not asking. What you can do, however, and this is the only power we have in this world, but it's a wonderful power to have, is the power of influence, right? So when people ask, how did you do that? How did you figure that out? I know you were afraid, but what made you go ahead with it? The example that you lead, the expression of your character and your behavior is the most compelling tool you have, the most compelling aspect of yourself that will draw questions from people. So that's why we're inspired by the great athlete or the entrepreneur or to the medicine woman. What we're inspired by is their behavior, and their behavior causes us to ask, how can I be more like that? So one way to help people who are not, asking questions is to put before them examples of people or things that you know that they would desire. So if they're an athlete and they're trying to do better at that, you can find stories or videos or things like that about about athletes that might inspire them. I'm inspired by entrepreneurs. I'm inspired. I get most of my information from entrepreneurs, from business people, from innovators. And I'm inspired every time I see a new app, every time I hear a new launch, every time I see a new conference, I'm inspired by those people standing on those stage talking about their ideas. There are other people who are inspired by being out in nature, by seeing people do, living the life of their dreams or whatever it is. But if you act as a person in your own personal life, you seek to overcome the challenges that face you, and you transform in front of the eyes of the people who care about you. When they look at you and they see you that you were this way and now you're different, that is the best thing you can do to inspire them, to influence them towards more by your own example.
That sounds good.
It's, sometimes you see people in desperation. Some people are really in hard straits, and you want more than anything to help them, right? You want more than anything to tell them what you know so that you can benefit them, and sometimes that works. Here's something you can do. If you believe in the law of attraction, if you believe in the power of your own focus, if you know that the more attention you give to something, the more it becomes a part of your experience, then at the very least do this. You don't want to look at the problems of your friends and seeing it as bigger. You don't want to look at your friends and say, they need my help, they need help, because the more you see them as needing help, the bigger their problem gets for you and for them. It becomes what you see, and then you're not really able to help them. What you want to do is see your friends and your family and your loved ones as the success that they want to be. You want to see them in the light that they would like to see themselves. You want to reflect back to them the vision that you see of them in the words that you say. So for example, if you know your friend is dealing with something difficult and they don't like talking about it, it's not something they want to bring up, well then don't bring it up on their behalf. Instead, bring up something else, something that they're passionate about, something they care about. Bring up the flip side of the issue. Bring up an opportunity or possibility. When you're having conversations with your friends, don't commiserate with them, but bring up those aspects of them, bring out from them those aspects that are the most valued, that the aspects of themselves that they want the most. Especially, and this is the hard part, when you're sitting by yourself at home, when you're bored or doing nothing, that's an excellent time to bring up your family and friends in your mind and to have the conversation with them in your mind. To prepare yourself in your mind before you even actually engage with them. Here's what that will do. If you have the conversation in your mind, if you prepare yourself in your mind, if you prime yourself in your mind, talking to your family and friends, seeing them in the light in which they would like to be seen in, then when you physically get in their presence and you talk to them, the words and your actions that will come out will be in tune with the habit of thought that you've trained yourself in, as opposed to the habit of thought that they've trained you in. So a good way to help your family and friends is to actually talk to them and to interact with them in your own mind, in your own time, and prepare yourself to see them the way they want to be. So that when you interact with them, you're not interacting with who they are now, you're interacting with who they want to be. And that feeling, that sensation will make them feel happy, will make them feel pleased to be around you. It'll make them feel look forward to talking to you, and it'll get them that much closer to asking the question, what can I do?
Yeah.
I don't know if that helps. But yeah, so be the example that you want to see. So be the example that causes them to be inspired. And the other thing is to use your power of focus, your imagination, your thoughts in order to prepare yourself for your interactions. And just trust that the right words will come out, that the right thing will be said. I'm not saying that because I read it in a book. I say that because that's what I do every single time I step in front of a crowd, in front of my meetups, in front of an event. I never memorize something to say. All I do is that I prepare in my mind a vision of the audience who is pleased and inspired. And then I just trust that the words that I say, the actions will express that, will portray that, and will make it more likely that they'll live the life that they want to live. Look, there's a lot more I can say about that. It's 7:55. Betty, do you have any other questions?
I do, but it's too many. So let's wait until next time.
Are you sure? We can do one more if you want. It's up to you.
I was just thinking about how do I try not to focus on the person's problem, because I'm just so nice somehow. When I see a little problem, even though it's not on me, it's on somebody else, it's my friend, I just want to help. I really want to do something about it. It's just hard to switch my attention off that problem.
I completely understand what you're saying, because that's exactly the zone that I am in. Whenever I see any problem, it could be the smallest or the biggest problem, I immediately want to try and help. Now, here's the thing. Anytime you are face to face with a problem, a challenge that someone's going through, you will, of course, immediately feel, at least at the beginning, you're going to feel bad. You're going to feel negative. You're going to feel the way they feel. It's that empathy. You're feeling what they're feeling. So, first of all, don't kick yourself for feeling that way at first, because that's how you're supposed to feel. The only reason you know where to move, how to improve things, is because you know that they suck right now. So don't be put off by that feeling you get of wanting to help them. But then you have to ask yourself this question. What is the most efficient and effective way to help someone? Let me ask you this. If you are face-to-face with someone's problem, if you see their problem, if your head is filled with the problem versus filled with the solution, filled with optimism, filled with hope, if you're seeing their problem, are you more or less likely to solve that issue?
Less likely.
Good. If you see their problem and then you immediately switch to how can I help? How can I improve this? How can this be better? If you are filled with the solutions or the possibility of solutions, if you're filled with hope or optimism, if instead of worry or doubt or concern, you're filled with hope, optimism, and empowerment, then are you more likely or less likely to be able to help them?
More likely, but there is an issue about that. Like, I would say, oh, if I were you, I would do this, 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 and that. And then my friend sometimes would say, well, are you controlling or something? You know, that could happen too.
Yeah, so one thing I really try, when it's something that really matters, I do my best to not try to give someone advice on what to do. At least not at first. It depends on the relationship you have with the person, but at first you don't want to give people advice. First you want to do is just empathize with them. Let me tell you this. The real solution to any problem doesn't lie in physical circumstances. It lies in the mental attitude. That is where the origin of all solutions begin. It doesn't begin with circumstance, it begins with the attitude. So the first step in helping your friend is not to deal with the problem itself, it's to deal with the root of the problem, which is their attitude. So first you want to tell people, first of all, empathize with them. I understand this really sucks. I understand you don't like this. I get that. I completely get that. Then the second thing is, well, how do they feel about it? Do they feel like there might be a solution? That's something I like to ask people. Do you think that this is something that you can change? Do you think that this is something that you can fix? Do you think this is something that can improve? I'm not trying to give them advice. I'm not trying to tell them to do anything. I'm just asking, what is your frame of mind? Are you seeing this the way I'm seeing it? Do you think that this is a solvable problem? If they can't get to that place, then that's where you want to put your energy, trying to convince them that they can get to that place before any advice, before dealing with the problem directly. What is their attitude about it? Because really, the best person to solve that issue is them. But they're not going to be in a position to see their solutions if they're worried about the problem. So you have to deal with their worry. You have to deal with their concern first. And the way you do that is by asking questions. You want to direct them by saying, you want to influence their expectation. Do you believe that this is something that can be solved? If they answer yes to that question or maybe to that question, it's way better than saying, oh, this is or give them keeping their attention on how bad the problem is. It's way better for them to be spending some time thinking about, is it possible for this to improve? Is there a way out of this? It's way better thinking those questions than thinking, oh, this really is terrible. This really sucks. Now, we still haven't gotten to the advice. We still haven't gotten to what to do. We still haven't gotten to the place of how to fix the problem. We're just talking about the mental attitude, because that's where it all starts. Because here's what's going to happen. Let's say, Liddy, that you're trying to help your friend, and they're willing to listen to your advice, and they take your advice, and they do it. You know what they're going to need next time?
Come to me for advice?
They're going to need you. They're going to need you again. More advice from Betty. She fixes my problems. More, tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. And when you do that, you are bypassing their own empowerment mechanism, their own ability to actually be someone who can solve their problems, and you're creating someone who's dependent on you. So I don't want you to be someone who gives great advice. Not the type of advice that deals with specific problems, at least not at first. What I want for you is to be someone who is able to direct someone's attention away from how terrible the problem is and towards the potential of resolution, the potential that things can be improved. And you do that best by asking questions. What do you think can be done? Do you think there might be a solution? Has anybody else out there ever experienced something like this and recovered? Or do you feel alone? You don't have to feel alone. I'm here with you. I understand your shit. Anything that empowers people, makes them feel supported and not alone, will sort of remove their attention from the problem and open it up to, oh, maybe there's more. Maybe it can grow. Maybe it can improve. Maybe I'm not alone. Maybe I can feel differently about this. But the best way for people to realize that is for you. When you are dealing with your own problems, instead of complaining to your friend, you do that same thing. You change your thought pattern in front of your friend. So something bad happens to you. Someone cuts you off in traffic. I've had this experience. Someone cuts me off in traffic, and I'm sitting with a friend in the passenger seat, and the friend goes, "Oh, I can't believe that person did that. What a I'm not going to say the bad word. What a bad guy, you know?" And I'll say, "No, it's really not that big of a problem. Yeah, it upsets me, but you know, people can do whatever they want to do. Maybe he's in a hurry." Then that person goes, "Oh, well, why aren't you upset about that? I'm upset about it for you. Why aren't you upset?" And you have an opportunity to say, "Oh, I don't let things like that bother me." In your experience, by your own expression, by being the person you want to be in front of other people, by expressing your thought patterns to people, you show them more clearly how to think. Because when you're trying to deal with someone's problem directly, it is the hardest time to teach people how to think. But if you're dealing with your own problem in front of them and they see that, it's easier for them to see it without becoming too entangled with the negative thought patterns. So when you're sitting at dinner with your friend and the waiter doesn't bring you your water, it's been a long time and they haven't brought you your water, and your friend goes, "Oh, they haven't brought water." You say, "It doesn't really matter so much. I'm not going to let that bother me. It's not so important." And they say, "Oh, that's interesting. You used to be a person who complained. Now you seem like a different person. What's changed about you?" And that's the best way to get the ball rolling. I know when you see people in difficulty, what we want to do is tackle the problem right there, right then. But that's not always the best time to deal with a problem. In those moments when they're dealing with it, when their hands are on the problem, you just want to sort of empathize with them and sort of dissolve the situation a little bit by pointing their mind in the direction of what can be done. What can be done? How can this be improved? And it doesn't seem like the hard solution, like fixing their problem. It's a little challenging, but it's more efficient. It's more effective, and you create people who are not dependent on you.
Yeah, that is a great answer. You don't know how much I learned from you. It's a lot.
Well, look, I love to tell people this, and this is probably where I'll end this. So thank you very much, Betty. That's very kind of you to say. And here's what I want to tell you, and I want to tell everybody who's listening out there. When you are inspired by anyone, don't give them the credit for inspiring you. You want to give yourself the credit for being able to be inspired. You want to give yourself credit for being able to learn. When somebody expresses something and you go, oh, that was really cool, you want to say, I'm really cool. I'm so cool, I was able to understand that. Right?
Yeah, that's good. But I think it's goes you and me, I guess, in this case.
It's a dance. It's a dance that we're doing, and I can't do what I'm doing without you. And your participation only makes things better. I just want us to share in the credit. I love your appreciation, and I just want to send my appreciation back to you for being willing to listen and to adopt it. You're really great, Betty. I'm really glad that you're here on the show. I don't think we've ever had a show with just you and me, have we?
No, we haven't.
Oh, it's been a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to your other questions, so please remember them for next time. And if we don't get to them, I'll make videos for you. I promise. I'll make you videos. Just send me questions, and I'll make them for you. It's always fun.
Yeah.
Look, I'm going to let you guys go now. Just before I do that, actually, I'm going to let you go, and I'll do the upcoming videos after that. Is there anything left to say?
What for dinner?
What's for dinner? That's right. Oh, my good. Thank God I'm not alone here. Awesome. Well, you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I'm going to eat something really spicy. So I bought this kind of spicy sauce. I'm going to make a very spicy soup and dip my vegetable in it.
Very cool. Awesome. What's the spicy sauce? What's the sauce called? Is it special? Or?
I don't know. It's very Chinese. It's sold in like Asian stores. It's a sauce that you can make boiling water into a really spicy. It's like a fondue.
Okay, really cool. That's awesome. That sounds very tasty. I love spicy things. I was just in Mexico, so we had a lot of spicy stuff. You're making me a little jealous. I'm eating pepperoni pizza, extra cheese, extra pepperoni, with green olives and pineapple. I love that pizza.
Sounds good.
That'll be good. Awesome. Thank you very much for reminding me of that. Tell us what's for dinner. If you're out there listening, you can write a message. You can let us know. It's always good to know what people are eating. It's a fun little segment that we're doing. Thank you very much for your time, Betty. You've been awesome.
Thank you. Bye, Peter. Have a good night.
You too. That was a lot of fun. So if you want to check out the Cuddler app, I'm definitely going to be trying to cuddle with someone. I'll let you know how it goes. You can check that out on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Law of Attraction Montreal. That's facebook.com/Law of Attraction Montreal. If you're in the Montreal area, you can join us for our in-live face-to-face meetups in person at meetup.com/TLOANTL. You can find more information about the Law of Attraction at thelawofattraction.ca. And of course, we have the Appreciationist every Wednesday. I want to let you know what's coming up for us, upcoming events here. Tomorrow, October 16th, at the Chai Tea Lounge at 6:30 p.m., we're having an in-depth conversation about the Law of Attraction. So something like this, but a lot more people, a lot more questions. So if you're in the Montreal area, please come on board. The event is almost full, but I think there's room for, 1 or 2 more people. So definitely go and check that out. That's October 16th. That's tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. October 18th, Samantha Barley's back in town. She's having an appreciation walk at 1:30 p.m. Mont Royal. Appreciation walk at 1:30 p.m. on Mont Royal. You can check that out. And October 24th, very excited, 6:30 p.m. we're having the Happy for a Change Montreal event. So we did an event in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. We'll be doing an event later on in Toronto. And on the October 24th, 6:30 p.m., Happy for a Change Tour Montreal event. We're going to be putting up a special real soon. So if you want to get your tickets, now's the time. And October 26th, Samantha Barley is having another community discussion, her wonderful community discussions at 3 p.m. about self-esteem. And I think the location is still up for grabs there, but check that out on meetup.com/TLOAMTL. And of course, as always, The Appreciationist, next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Looking forward to seeing you. My name has been Peter Hartman, and I'm just so happy to be back in Montreal doing another show. You guys are great. Take care. Goodbye. Have a fun time. Take care. You can go to bed now. You can go. Yes. I'm always very curious as to how long people stay here, right? Do you see the meter going and you just keep going? Because I'm just talking. I'm just babbling. I'm not saying anything except drinking some tequila. Cheers. Okay. Have a nice night. Bye-bye.